Hey everyone, welcome to the Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about dealing with boredom eating. And this is just one more flavor of emotional eating. And as with all emotional eatings, we have to start by understanding it. We're not just going to stop it because the core problem isn't the eating. The eating is a symptom of a deeper problem. And when it comes to boredom eating, the deeper problem is that you're bored. Okay. So even if we get rid of the boredom eating, you're still going to be bored. That's not where you want to be. So what we want to do is we want to understand that the boredom is there for a reason, and we need to solve that core problem. And the core problem is, well, what do you want to feel? Right? Obviously, you don't want to feel bored. You want to feel something else. So typical things, people, I want to feel more stimulation and more excitement. I want to look forward to things. I want to learn things. I want to do fun things. Whatever. It's different for each person, but we can start with boredom and say, okay, this is the thing I'm doing boredom eating because I feel bored. What do I want to feel? That's the starting point. And then we could say, I want to feel more stimulated. I want to do more stimulating things. Great. Because then the next question becomes, how can I feel more stimulated in my life? And now we're getting to the real core problem. Because again, the boredom eating is just a symptom of that deeper problem. So we want to go to work on that so that we can fix both problems at the same time in a much more effective way. And so how do you stimulate yourself? Now that becomes the interesting question because your brain has not been thinking that. What you've been doing with the boredom eating is you're always wondering, why do I keep boredom eating? Well, I just told you why. It's because you're bored. But the deeper reason is because you don't know a better way to stimulate yourself. That's the problem. So as you start focusing on that question, I will let you know, just because I asked the question, how can you stimulate yourself more? It doesn't mean you're just going to come up with an answer. So please understand that. What this does is it becomes a process where you start to put this question in your mind as you move through your day. And it may take a couple days, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months to start to come up with the answer. But now you're priming your brain to find that solution. How can I feel more stimulated? How can I do more interesting things? What things are more exciting for me? And we start to put that question in our mind as we go through our day, and we start to find answers. Now, I'll give you one other way to kind of find this is, what in the past has been stimulating and exciting for you? What things that you used to do that were enjoyable that you no longer are doing? This happens. I don't know why. Us humans are weird, but a lot of times you can learn a lot of answers from reflecting on your past. But again, hobbies, different things of interest, what things kind of jazz you up? It's nothing jazzes me up, but what things could jazz you up if you started doing them? There's going to be something most likely. And the secret all revolves in which question you're asking. And most likely the questions you've been asking is, why do I keep boredom eating and how do I stop boredom eating? Wrong question. The right question is, how can I stimulate myself? How can I do more exciting things? What things would I look forward to and enjoy doing? And again, I understand you may not have that answer right now, be kind of a vacuum, but as you start to reflect on that, you're going to start to develop solutions and strategies. And now imagine what would happen once you have them. Because I've gone through this myself. I used to watch a lot of TV because I was bored, nothing else I wanted to do. And as I started to fill up my time with playing guitar, drawing, doing different stuff, all of a sudden I had real things that interested me. And so all of a sudden, not only did I feel better emotionally because I was genuinely kind of meeting my emotional needs, but also the boredom eating fade away too. So again, the beauty of this approach is that it's a twofer. You're dealing with that core problem and you're simultaneously dealing with the boredom eating. So start asking that question, what exactly do you want to feel? And then the big one, how can I feel more of that? And be like a dog with a bone with that question. Ask that question consistently and often, stick with it. And I promise you, you're going to find solutions to it. And once you find those solutions, it's magical because it's not you forcing yourself not to eat. It's you finding genuine new ways that you want to do that naturally cause you to not eat. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone's any questions, feel free to ask them and we'll get into them. You've never been here before, any questions? Fine. You can ask any question, right? There's no dumb question. Well, that's not true. There's dumb questions, but I won't judge you. I ask dumb questions all the time. So don't feel bad. You know, if you got some question you think silly, ask it. The only thing worse than asking a dumb question is, what's up, Paula? How's it going? You get ready for that surgery? You got that surgery coming up on the shoulder? I wish you the best with that. John, what's up, John? I was thinking about you literally this morning. I think about you all the time, John. I was thinking about you yesterday, and I was thinking of the Thrive call. First house and I started the new gig. I'm doing well. I have tools. All right, John. That makes me so happy. Okay, reach out for me. Come on. I'll hook up with you somewhere. I want to pull you back in, right? You're here. But I know you've been through a lot. So I've been going through a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to see you here. That's great. First day off. Wow. Yeah. Busy times. Super. I know I'm just going to tell you already what I'm going to tell you when we talk, John, is that I know I know, I'm happy you went through this. I know, but it's like, you're going to come out of this stronger. So I'm super glad I'm glad we're working together. I'm glad all this bullshit happened while we're working together. Sorry it happened. You know what I mean? I want everyone to have just a perfect, easy life, but that doesn't happen. So second best thing is that you're working with me with it. So glad to see you here. Mario, what's up, Mario? What's up, E? I see E's here. Nice to see you. Can't wait to talk to you, E. So you should have got your link. Oh shit, you wouldn't have gotten your link today. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny? I just realized that because I'd set the email to go out all right already. All right, E. You might get the link next week. I'll reset your thing for the coaching call but I got your email yesterday, so it sounds like the training I gave you was helping you out. And I will tell you, the trainings in the Program Yourself Thin program are just getting better and better and better. That was a great strategy. I told people, I was like, I'm going to start doing a Tuesday class. And I'm really rotating through the core elements of the Program Yourself Thin system, but I'm doing that specifically because it's just getting me better and better and better at the lessons are getting better. You know, they're getting clearer. Again, my real strategy or my real value to offer people is coaching. Like I can get to what you one-on-one and I can really figure out what's going on with you and change that. Creating programs is hard work. I will let you know. The hardest part of it is, you know, when I work one-on-one with someone, I'm getting all this context and I can drill down into it. It's pretty easy. We just figure out where to go with it. It's hard to create general catch-all trainings that like people in all different situations can use. I will let you know that. I've been teaching Program Yourself Thin for literally, it's been 20 years now. I should show you. I'm going to print it up. I'll show you one of the first ads I ever made for Program Yourself Thin, which ironically is like one of the best ads too. It's so funny thinking back to that. But anyways, the training's getting better. So I'm glad, you know, E said that the one of the trainings really helped her. Jody, who is really one of my kind of the OGs, she's gone through literally every training, every single thing that there is. And she just said one of the last trainings I did was one of the best ones she's ever heard me do. So that stuff makes me so happy. So again, folks, I tell you, it's all about consistency. It's all about resilience and just sticking with things, you know, in every area of your life. I mean, well, I think we know that to some level, but certainly with weight. You were a big back today. What did you do, Mario? Tell me. Some cheesecake sandwiches, or you take a cheeseburger and put it in between two slices of cheese. Mario's my gateway to the dumbest shit on TikTok. Big back in it. That's such a crazy term. Anyways, Jonathan, I thought about what you asked me yesterday, and I want to feel confident, excited to weigh myself. I want to be proud of my weight instead of ashamed. Well, how's that feel, Jonathan? Does that feel better? Again, you know, the words we use, I will tell you, you know, I always joke that like the dumbest phrase I hear is like when dieters like, oh, I know what I got to do. I just got to get myself to do it. But maybe the dumber phrase is when people are like, oh, that's just semantics. Well, as a hypnotist, when I hear someone say that's just semantics, I really have to use every part of myself to stop myself from slapping them. Cause I'm like, words are everything. Words are everything. Words are just anchors for meaning in our mind. And so, you know, even the idea of like, I don't want to be ashamed. I'm tired of feeling discouraged and frustrated and ashamed of myself. Right. So I could say that, and that feels one way. But I can say the flip side. I can say, I want to feel confident. I want to feel secure in myself. I want to feel good about myself. They're kind of saying the same thing, but they feel completely different to you. And the words you use in your head are such a huge part of the results you're going to get. That's why Program Yourself Thin is literally, how do you program your own mind to get the results you want? I mean, that's really the core of it. I give you again, it's a holistic, I always call Program Yourself Thin, I think it was like a weight mastery cocoon. You know what I mean? I put you in this cocoon for 8 weeks and I just go at you from all different angles. You need to understand it all. I know what I'm doing. And it's like, it's this little cocoon though, because you're just in this thing and you come out as a different version of yourself. But at the end of it, really, I can only do so much. And this is very important because I'm not trying to shit talk my fellow hypnotists. I love them, but there's a difference between a hypnotist and what I'm doing. You know, I've been doing this like a mad person for 30 years personally, 20 years professionally. And I will tell you that there's no hypnosis sessions out there that are going to change you forever. They can help for sure. They're very, very helpful. They're a great supplement. But ultimately, at the end of the day, You are your own best or worst hypnotist. And what you are consistently saying inside that little brain of yours is going to have the biggest impact on your weight. And you probably have no fucking clue about how to even influence it. And that's that in a nutshell, I believe, is what I help people do. And it's certainly what I've done for myself. There's no, you've got to do this yourself. There's no magic pill. There's no magic pill. Even the weight loss medicine's not a magic pill. And we will find this out. But, there are magic solutions, and they're magic in the sense of the results they produce, but not magic in the sense that you can just, now I'm a different person. No. There's no teas, there's no pills, there's no powders, there's no teas, there's no supplements, there's no magic. Okay. That just instantly changes you like this. There's committing to learning a system that gives you control over your thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors. That's how you master your weight. But anyways, great job, Jonathan. Way to rethink that. Sabina says, it's hard when I'm sick or my child is sick to not eat more. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is part of weight mastery. The beauty of weight mastery is that it's a bigger time frame. Yeah, you can be perfect for a couple of weeks, a couple months, maybe, but you're not going to be perfect forever. No, you're not. No, you're not. No. And so we have to realize that that's life. I mean, work's like that. Your relationships are like that. Everything in your life, nothing's like this straight line. Oh, I'm working better and better. Every day I'm just getting better and more productive every single day. All my relationships just getting better and better every single day. Just getting better and better and better. No, it's not. No, it's not. Everything's like this. Everything's like this, And so the first thing I say to you, Sabina, is that, yeah, it's hard for me too. Like, situation today, my niece and nephew slept over. And so it's like, they wake up and it's not a normal clean day. I eat my breakfast, I go work, I eat my lunch and whatever. Well, these kids are here. I make them breakfast, I'm making them waffles. Okay, now there's waffles to shit around. I'm going to eat some of them. Oh, hey, I find it hard to eat as well when my niece and nephew are over as when they're not here. Yeah, no shit. Now, if they're over here all the time, then I'm going to deal with that. But when it's random things like, oh yeah, my kid gets sick or I get sick or, I don't feel well. Yeah, you're never going to eat as well when you're sick as when you feel great. This is why I always say to you, and I get ready to have your minds blown. If you're a dieter, you really have to, forever, you have to think of your eating in two categories. And you can think of it, I use the word good and bad. I always explain this, but good and bad. I don't mean you're a good and bad person, but I mean, like, if I eat this way, it's good because I go towards my weight loss goals. If I eat this way, it's bad because I move away from my weight loss goals. Okay. So you're always going to have those types of eating. Sometimes, let's just say on track, off track. That's a better way to do it. And so sometimes, like when you're feeling really good, you're not sick, your kids are feeling great, work's going great, your relationships are going great, you got no financial worries, everything's awesome. Well, great. Your eating's going to be a lot better in that situation. And then there's other times where you're sick, your kid's sick, you go on vacation, different bullshit happens, and you're going to be a bit off track. And it's always going to be like that, folks. So you have to judge yourself within context of the situation, because it's always going to fucking be like that. And if you're just always going to measure yourself against perfection, that's the fastest way to sabotage yourself, because you can't be perfect. And the second you get sick, oh, no, I'm eating the bed. It's not about how you eat when you're sick compared to when you're not sick. The real question is, how are you eating when you're sick now compared to how you used to eat when you were sick? That's the secret. Progress over perfection. What we're looking to do is have these two categories so that when I've been fighting with my spouse, I've been, I just fight. My boss yelled at me and I might lose my job and I'm stressed out. Financially, I'm stressed out. Whatever. There's a million stresses. There's a million things that can happen. In these situations, we got to grade ourselves accordingly. I hope that makes sense, because I know that's not what you want to hear, because I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight all the time and forever. And it's a straight line down. Yeah, well, good fucking luck. Good luck with that, Gratitude 108. I love that. Weight mastery seems like a slow incremental process, right? Not necessarily. It's a long-term process, I would say, absolutely. Where weight loss is really about how fast can I lose the weight. Weight mastery, in my definition, and as far as I know, I'm one of the very few people that uses weight mastery as a term, but weight mastery to me is, so with weight loss, the goal is how fast can I lose the weight? How fast can I get to my goal weight? Weight mastery is about getting to my goal weight, not really how fast, but getting to my goal weight. But then most importantly is how can I live the rest of my life at my goal weight on near autopilot? That to me is what weight mastery is in a nutshell. And so does it have to be slow? Not necessarily. And again, slow and fast is a relative term. If you lose 25 pounds this month by not eating anything, well, that seems like fast weight loss. But the next month when you start eating, you put all the weight back on. Was that fast weight loss or no weight loss? As opposed to the other side where you're doing slow, consistent, sustainable things, and you lose a pound a week. And so you get to the end of the month and say, oh, I'm 4 pounds down. This is the slowest weight loss in the history of man. But then you go another month and you lose another 4 pounds, and then you just keep that up because it's sustainable. And next year at this time, you're 60 pounds down. So which one's fast and which one's slow is a relative question, but yes, I would agree that weight mastery is really less concerned about how quick or slowly you lose the weight and much more concerned about how sustainable it is and how much you're setting yourself up for the long-term success. And I think that's the big difference that no one ever thinks about. John says, no service on the job site. I can't get on the calls. Oh, that sucks. Make sure you're listening to them, John. Okay. Download them. And then when you go to the job site, go have them already downloaded. Okay. So you can listen to them. There's a lot of, like a lot of the podcast apps, you can download them ahead of time or maybe even automatically. I'm not even actually a big podcast person. But I'm sure you could do that, but I'm glad you're here with this. Jonathan Walker, turns out my oatmeal is 20 grams of sugar and I was having 2 servings. Yikes. Again, Jonathan, right? I literally was just having a call with one of my long-term clients, and it's always the same story. And I'll let you in on a little secret, folks, that it always comes down to awareness. And I know you don't believe that, but it's always awareness about what you're doing. And, Jonathan, you're proving that. So don't be upset about it. Again, pat yourself on the back and be really happy with yourself. Think about everything you've learned in the last couple of weeks here. It's like you could have never in a million years succeeded the way you were thinking before. Cause you're black as white to, you know what I mean? You're looking at something and you're seeing the opposite, you're clarifying that now. And that's so much of this process is pulling yourself out of the trance and the bullshit that you're thinking and seeing things more clearly. Shreya says, it's hard for me when I'm stressed out with work or feeling irritable. Is there a technique to address that? Yes, absolutely. That's the core of Program Yourself Thin, is how do you become more relaxed and calm? Right at the very foundational piece. This is where the hypnosis, listen, a lot of people think of hypnosis as like, oh, what I'm thinking or whatever. But really the core level of hypnosis, it's so powerful, is it's a way to practice relaxing and calming down, being a more centered, relaxed version of yourself. And just doing that alone is really going to help you and improve your weight. Because when you're calm and relaxed, you tend to make much better decisions, right? So, I mean, there's a million techniques with it. And Program Yourself, then literally, I teach you a bunch of them. But the core one is literally every day you're practicing hypnosis, which starts by relaxing, so you get good at that. But I mean, you can look up any hypnosis. I have hypnosis sessions. If you go to SoundCloud, if you search SoundCloud and Jim Katsoulis, I got a bunch of hypnosis sessions there. My YouTube channel, Jim Katsoulis, I put a bunch of hypnosis sessions up there, and all those will help you relax. Okay. Yeah. He says, you have the best trainings. Thank you. I'll talk to you next week for sure. Yeah. It's exciting. I can't wait to meet you. And, I really do have the best trainings. I believe this. I not to sound like, I don't want to be that, conceited dipshit, but, I don't know, man. This program is so good. And it's like, it's the most exciting time for this program for me. I got to tell you, it's, I don't know. You stick with things long enough and things start to work out, even if you don't believe it. And the program's always been good. I've always gotten good feedback on it, but I keep demanding more and more from the program. And it's like, it just keeps getting better. And it's like, shit, I do this every single day now. I've been coaching all day, every day for decades now, but even talking this way, it helps me kind of refine what's being said. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get to you guys. Mario says, can't remember if you already talked about this, but what was your wake up call to change lifestyle? I guess it might've been your dad's situation. It was not my dad's situation. And I think that's very interesting personally, that, my wake up call, I would say it wasn't like the wake up call was relative. And I always say this, that, pain and pleasure are two sides of the same coin. So if you start to the more pleasure you feel, the more pain you can experience. I don't know. They kind of both go together in a weird way. But anyways, what I'm trying to say metaphorically is that my wake up call just visited me from the heavens. I swear to you, it felt this way because there was a month or two when I took off from college and I was in a real dark space, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just all of a sudden came in contact with Tony Robbins, personal development, yoga, meditation, martial arts, guitar, new friend. It was just all this stuff, and it just changed the way I thought. And so I can't say it was like I hit a rock bottom and decided to change as much as it was this shit just visited me in my life, and I was realizing how much better things could be. That's what I was talking about, the pain pleasure thing. I knew I was in pain for sure, but I didn't realize how much pain I was in until I realized how much better I could feel, if that makes sense. I remember, I'll always remember this. I remember like, especially like I was listening to Tony Robbins in the beginning, and I remember like going to dinner with my family one night, and I was like, do you know you can change? Do you realize you can actually change what you're thinking, what you're doing? And like, it's so funny to think back then who I was and who I am now. And it's just like, so it wasn't like I hit a rock bottom, even though it kind of, it seemed like that to some degree. But it was more that like these new things popped into my life. I was like, holy shit, things could be so much better. And so it felt more like that for me, a little different. Mario says a family size Oreo box and Ben and Jerry's felt like shit afterwards. I bet. Yeah, that Ben and Jerry's. Oh God. I ate some of it last night, and I was just like, and we were done with it. It was the cookie dough stuff, and it was funny. I was joking. I guess I'm glad. I was always joking. I was like, does anyone ever think there's enough cookie dough in these things? Like if you get a pint of cookie dough ice cream, is anyone ever think that there's enough cookie dough in it? Because I do not. It always feels like there's like 50% too little, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, so I got through all the cookie dough, and I threw the rest of the ice cream out. But anyways, yeah, Mario family says, I get it though. I'm not judging. Again, you just sit with how shitty it feels. That's the secret to changing your eating, is to change your neural associations to food. And the way you do that most powerfully is really paying attention when you do shit like that. Most people go, I talk about this all the time with people, because what you tend to do if you're a dieter, when you overeat or make the unhealthy food choice, is you go into beating yourself up and shame and guilt and all this stuff, which ironically is very ineffective, because what it's doing is it's disassociating you. It's a disassociation technique, whether you realize it or not. What I mean by that is that you're getting caught up in your thoughts and you're not connected to your body anymore. So the next time you way overeat a family-sized box of Oreos and a bunch of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, do not beat yourself up. And again, I say this not because I'm a nice person. I say this because it's ineffective. And so what you want to do is you want to connect. You know what you really want to do, Mario? And again, I think you probably did this to some degree. After you eat that Oreos and the Ben & Jerry's, you finished with all of it, you take a minute even. You close your eyes and you sit and you bring all of this attention into your body, and you notice how it feels physically, mentally, emotionally, and you sit with it. And what that does is it reassociates what those foods mean to you, because most of the time what you're doing is most of your energy when it comes to these foods is wrapped up in the anticipation phase. Remember, there's 3 phases of eating: anticipation, consumption, consequence. Okay. And the marketing is always focusing on the anticipation, because you have more wiring in your brain for the anticipation of pleasure than for the experience of it. And so the marketing is always about, think about it, right? Every food ad you see, it's the food coming towards you. It's you unwrapping the wrapper, taking that first bite. It never shows you the last bite, the empty plate, the sitting there full. Okay. So it's up to you to reprogram your brain to shift your focus. And once you do that, again, that's where the results almost become magical, because what happens is instead of having to stop yourself from eating the food, is you don't want to eat it. Okay. Just like if you're a non-smoker, it's not because you're fighting cravings all day. It's because the way you think about cigarettes, you don't have cravings. You can do the exact same thing with food. Yes, you can. Jonathan says, are cherry tomatoes healthy? I saw a video about them having too much sugar. Oh my God. Oh, I like to strangle. I like to have a influencer strangle party. I just did a video on fruit, right? That don't worry about the fruit and the sugar. Now, can you overdo it? Oh, thanks, Don. Can you overdo it? Can you overdo it with fruit? Yes, absolutely. So again, I'm speaking in the margins here. I'm not speaking about the outliers, but I'm speaking about the average person. I'm speaking to you, Jonathan. I promise you, Jonathan, that cherry tomatoes, do not worry about it. But you all got to watch out, because I don't know where this comes from. It's hard for me not to think that somehow the food industry is not somehow influencing this, but I'm seeing this all the time now. Hey, Marcy, what's up? I'm seeing all the time now people talking about, they're worried about the sugar and fruit. and they're worried about the carbs and vegetables. And it's like, man, we've reached peak asshole state. I mean, we just don't know anything anymore, you know? Now, again, can you overdo it with fruit? Yes, you can. Okay. But you probably don't have to worry about that. And you're not gonna have to worry about with cherry tomatoes, especially Jonathan, because this is the fascinating part. And this is for all of us. Jonathan just got on here yesterday. Hey, what do we think about oatmeal? Right. And so we talked about it. And so last night he goes and looks at the oatmeal and he realizes, oh, it's 20 grams of sugar and I have 2. That's 40 grams of sugar. Let's just look up real quick. I don't know. Let's just see how many cherry tomatoes do I need to eat to consume 40 grams of sugar? Am I getting an answer for this? I'm not, but let's find out. That was a dumb way to ask that question. Let's find out. So a half cup of whole cherry tomatoes, a half cup, right, is saying it has 5 grams of sugar. Okay. And so you would have to eat 2, 4, 8 cups of cherry tomatoes to equal that oatmeal. And it's not the same sugar. Okay. Fruits have fructose in them. Fructose is different than glucose and sucrose. Added sugar is called sucrose. Okay. And so, fruits and well, not vegetables, but fruits have fructose in them. So your liver handles, so they're different, and they're binding to fiber. So it's absorbed, less likely. And if you ate all those cherry tomatoes, you'd have all the nutrients that come with it. And you couldn't eat 8 cups of cherry tomatoes if you wanted to anyways. So again, I would, the average person, now, if you're an outlier who has issues with fruit sugar, then you probably already know that. And I'm not speaking to you. But if you're just a normal person eating a normal American diet, the least of your worries at this point is fruit sugar. And that's what I got for you. So yeah, eat them up. Go on vacation next month, and I'm trying to get as fit as I can to feel confident. Yeah. I don't know where you're at, Jonathan, but that's fine. That's fine. Using vacations coming up or pictures or a wedding or using stuff as that motivation is fine. I use everything at my disposal because I think of mastering your weight in this environment and this time in history. It's a fucking war. It's a war. Use everything at your disposal to win, but also recognize that's a temporary motivation. But again, you listen to me, so you're good recognizing that, you can use that as a short-term motivator and also balance it out with the long-term strategies that are built for long-term. But Jonathan, you're another one. I don't know. Are you in the program? I don't know why you're not in the program. Sometimes people get on here every day and I don't know why you're not in the program. You're here, listen to me, talking to me every day. But anyways, what's up, Jody? As soon as I relax, the anxiety around food decreased to the point that I can make better decisions. Yeah, exactly. Right. Right from the horse's mouth. Jody's in the program and just killing it. And that's what happens. That's what pretty much happens to everyone in the program. Because think about it. Every time you dieters go and start your diet, you're freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? Really? How do you feel emotionally? When you start your diet? Do you feel relaxed and calm and, centered, ready to make good decisions, or you're freaking out? Right? Because every diet is overwhelming to you. You tell me. Well, I'm going to ask you the question, folks. You all have more experience with dieting than I do. You tell me, when you start your diet, do you feel relaxed and calm about it, or are you freaking out? And do you think that might be because it's overwhelming? Don't you think starting to not eat for 16 hours a day is an overwhelming thing to take on? Don't you think tracking every food calorie you put in your body is overwhelming? Considering you haven't been doing that, now you're just going to start doing that? That's a huge thing to take on. So I don't know. Frida says, I eat kidney beans. Yeah, wonderful. Beans are great. I love the beans. There's another one. This is why you can't listen to these fucking morons, these influencers. Oh, don't eat fruit because it's got too much sugar. Don't eat vegetables, got too much carbs. Don't eat beans because it's got lectins in it. They'll kill you. What the fuck, dude? That's why we cook them. That's why we cook the beans. I mean, it's just crazy. It's a crazy world. And everything that's healthy, there's some moron out there telling you not to eat it for some reason. And I don't blame anyone. It's crazy times, Yeah, Vicky said, I just need more time to do them. There's so much on Program Yourself Thin to explore. I will agree. That is one thing I'm always working through too. there's a lot of content in there, but I have boiled it down to the most important stuff too. So don't worry about that, folks. If you want to get the programming, you won't be overwhelmed. Mario says, no, never enough cookie dough, but that was the exact one I was having too. The cookie dough one. Yep. Thanks for saying nice things, because I was super mad at myself at first. I get it, Mario, but yeah, again, and again, if getting mad at yourself helps you eat better and lose weight, I'd tell you, you know what I mean? I would tell you to get mad at yourself. I'm only telling you not to beat yourself up because it's just ineffective. It doesn't work. And I know you don't believe that for some fucking reason. You keep trying to beat yourself up. How's it going? You couldn't beat yourself up any more than you do. And you're just so convinced that's the path. It's not. Queen Dangerous 911, can't lose weight with emotional eating and pain. No one understands. You mean like you're in such emotional pain? You're in such emotional pain that you can't stop eating? I understand, Queen. So if you want to talk about it more. Oh, I see what you're saying. I appreciate it. Many think we don't care about ourselves. Oh, I understand you, Queen. And I promise you, Queen, this is one place I'll promise you one thing for sure is I'm one of the least judgmental people on the planet, especially with the food and the weight. I understand the reasons why people do stuff, and so I know, I believe that every person makes the best choice available to them, and that includes the eating. When you're eating the bullshit, it's not like you're eating it because you want to be overweight. Well, that's not true. Some people do literally want to be overweight. Actually, that's the whole thing. But usually you're eating it because in that moment, it's the best strategy you have available to you to feel better, to manage the pain. So I get that. So emotional eating, I could talk all day about. So if you want to go in depth with that, Queen, I'm all for it. We talk about that every day. I love it. Yeah, Marcy, been a while. Glad to see you here. Lisa says, I think you can't overdo fruit if you're addicted to table sugar. Yeah, I would agree, Lisa. Yeah, if you're eating a lot of table sugar and sucrose, get the fuck out of here with the fruit sugar, please. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It's like, Jonathan, no offense, right? But it's like, again, Jonathan, he's learning. So again, we appreciate that here. But again, it's a good example of like, you could be just popping in 40 grams of sugar just for breakfast and then being worried about the cherry tomato sugar. And again, I'm not picking on you, but this is what I see all the time, and again, it just doesn't make any sense. So you got to start to gain more discriminate. You have to be able to discriminate more with the dipshits online. Because it's like, we're just in a time and place where anyone can say fucking anything. And huge names, huge people with giant followings with huge degrees and experience are some of the people out there saying the dumbest shit. So it's just crazy times. It's a crazy time. It is. Yeah, Jonathan says, I absolutely love cherry tomatoes. I eat them as snacks. Yeah, keep eating them. I love how you make fun of me. Good, because it all comes from a good place. You know that. I sound so stupid. Sorry for even asking. No, you don't, Jonathan. I'm really glad you asked that. I really do. That's why I always try to tread the line. I'm joking around just because it's the fact that this exists. The fact that we live in a country that's 72% overweight or obese, and now most people that want to lose weight are worried about sugar from fruit. It's the insanity of that I'm more talking about, not you personally. I honor you for asking that question. I appreciate it so much because I know a lot of people are thinking that shit in the back of their heads. And I appreciate you asking because it brings it to my attention and I can at least address it, And I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not sitting here. I don't know everything about nutrition, but it's like, again, I look at the context, and when I see a person, and again, you're not an outlier, Jonathan. It's not unusual for someone to be popping in 100 grams of added sugar a day. That's not a crazy thing. And so for someone that's putting 100 grams of added sugar into their body every day, but they're worried about the sugar and fruit. And so it's just, again, it makes no logical sense, but this is the beauty of understanding hypnosis in your mind in that way. So no, keep asking those questions, Jonathan. They're very helpful for people. I promise you're helping a lot of people by asking those. Yeah, gratitude. I put salt on almost everything. Is that okay or counterproductive for weight loss? Yeah, putting salt on most everything is absolutely counterproductive because salt, here's the thing with salt. Yes, it's associated with hypertension, but the big problem with salt is that it's a huge driver of overeating. It triggers your appetite, and it really is a huge driver of you overeating food. So yeah, go get a salt-free version of some food you like, and you'll see exactly what I mean. You'll see that it's almost impossible to overeat salt-free versions. So yeah, if you want to lose weight, I would absolutely suggest you start cutting the salt down. Yeah. Johnny D says, yeah, overwhelming. Of course, you're going to diet, you're freaking out. Yep, overwhelmed, of course, right? Yeah. Paula says, I felt resigned and not happy when I started a new diet. Of course. This is what I'm trying to say. But we just take this for granted because the diet industry is all bullshit, folks. If you've never seen me before, just so you know, the reason you can't lose weight is because you've been conditioned to think like a dieter. One of the biggest psychological operations in history is the diet mindset that they've installed they've tried to install into all of us, and they've done very successfully. So here you are trying to lose weight for 30 years. You're a smart, intelligent person who's successful in lots of areas of your life, but you struggle with this one. How does that make sense? It's not because you don't have willpower. What the fuck? How would you got willpower in all these other areas of your life, but you don't have it there? That's not the problem. Problem is you're thinking they filled your head up with rocks. So when you think about weight loss, almost everything you're thinking instinctively at this point is completely fucking wrong. It's that simple. And yeah, we'll keep it there. Jonathan says, honestly, I currently can't afford it. Plus, I don't even trust myself enough that I'd stick to it. Yeah, a lot of people, that's the big thing, right? Don't feel like they can stick to it. That's why I make it simple too. It's 5 minutes in the morning. I take that into account. I make it as simple as possible because what I do that's different than a lot of the weight loss industry. Again, most of the weight loss industry is built around telling you what to do. They'll tell you like, oh, you want to lose weight quickly? This is the perfect plan to do it. But knowing what you should do and being able to get yourself to do it are two completely different things. And I've been working the whole time with actual real people. And how do you get yourself to do it consistently? So I feel like the things I offer are in the real world, practical solutions, not the perfect solution. So I think that's really important. Mara said, I forgot to mention the most important part. The reason I binged might have been because I tried to fast, but instead of 13, I did 17. Mario, thank you. I'm glad you appreciated that and said that. Yes. Still trying that shit, huh? Well, there's no wrong. Hey, again, no judgment. Sometimes we got to hit our head against the wall a lot of times before we finally learn the lesson. That's just how it is for all of us, myself included. That's how it goes is where nuts is hungry. Yeah. When you get really hungry, forget about it. You're going to do big bad things. Queen says, lost so many family and being emotional abused. My ex used to hug me to see if I lost weight. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's terrible. That's a common one too. I will let you know. One specific flavor of screwed up associations that are causing us to be overweight is if you in your life had like a parent figure, a significant other, someone in your life that you really cared about who is obsessed on your weight and losing weight, what happens a lot of times is we start to internalize, fuck them. I don't want to lose weight. You know what I mean? And we start to rebel against the weight loss because we're rebelling against that person. Because the way they were trying to get us to lose weight was, again, we didn't like it. And so we start to rebel against that. But now we're rebelling against weight loss in general. So that's, again, that in Program Yourself then, and just in weight mastery in general, the process really is one of clarifying the subtle little beliefs and ideas we have that are completely wrong. And, becoming aware of them, acknowledging them, and then resolving them is so much of it, User 645 says, what do you think about the carnivore diet? I think the carnivore diet is one of the silliest diets that we've come across. And I think that just when you thought keto is the dumbest diet, here comes the carnivores. You're clearly not a fucking carnivore if you're a human being. You're clearly not a carnivore. Go look at a carnivore's digestive system and teeth, and then look at yours. So you're not a carnivore. So I don't know why people are going to go and just eat meat, but I do because I know like we're in the social media age where it's just a race to the top of Mount Dipshit. And here we are. And when you get into the keto thing, because again, you take keto and you take a good idea and you make it ridiculous. In this society, the number one source of calories for adult Americans is baked goods. So refined carbs, specifically flour, is a huge issue that you got to get a handle on most likely if you want to master your weight. And so we take an idea that makes sense and we just run it right up the flagpole to the top of it where it's goofy. You know what I mean? The idea you're never going to eat carbs again. Really? Again, the biggest problem with keto is that it's too strict and people don't stick to it. It's not that you don't lose weight in the beginning fast. That's not the problem with it. The problem is no one wants to stick with it long-term. And so now we're just doubling down on that with a carnivore diet. So you go ahead and eat meat every day and let me know how you're at next year. Let me know where you're at next year. Cause I'll bet you $1,000 that if you start the carnivore diet today, that you will not be on the carnivore diet consistently over the full year. You will not be on a carnivore diet next year at this time. So that's what I think about the carnivore diet. I think it's silly. And I think just once again, the diet at this point, it's people just coming up with crazier and crazier ideas. And why not? Because dieters are the fucking most desperate, dumbest thinking people on the planet. Don't take this wrong. You're smart. You're smart people. But when it comes to weight loss, if you're a dieter, not so much. Not so much there. Not my fault. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. It's not my fault. I'm doing everything I can to get people off a diet. So don't blame me. I find it funny that no one here ever, never, not even troll wise, no one ever argues with me about diets. I find this the most fascinating thing. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, where I get on here every day. I'll talk for an hour, 2 hours every day. And I literally cannot think of one time. I've had a couple trolls, plenty of dipshits, but I have not had one time someone sit here and debate me and argue with me about a diet that was good. The closest I got was a guy who had succeeded on Weight Watchers. And we talked about it and we came to kind of a middle ground. But that's the one and only time. So it's like, the reason I say that is, what the fuck? Because all you do, when you think about weight loss, you think diet, surgery, medicine. You never think mindset. You never think comprehensive, holistic strategy to master my weight once and for all. Which, by the way, reminds me, if you're not in my world, please click the bio in my link. Click the link in my bio. Go get the hypnosis session I give you. It's free. Go watch the video I made for you. It's free. Read the emails I send you every day. It's free. I send you all sorts of shit. I got a motivation challenge. I got the Spark program, all kinds of stuff. And I got more stuff coming for you. So go do that. Okay. Because you owe it to yourself. Please. Jesus Christ. Okay. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Keto says you can stick with the carnivore diet for a year, but 2 years later, you gain back double what you lost once you taste carbs again. Truth. Don't we know this by now? This is what I mean. Didn't we learn this from the paleo, Atkins, keto diets? I mean, didn't you learn your lesson? But again, dieters, it's just crazy. You have to, like, dieting just disengages your brain. You know, as soon as you start thinking about weight loss and dieting, your brain just stops working normal. You know, again, dieters are the only people that, Jesus Christ, 30 years of trying something and you're still going to try it on the 31st year. And that's bad enough. But the fucking crazy part is you still think 100% is going to work. You start at that Monday. Well, maybe not Monday. Don't think it. But the Sunday night before you're going to start your keto plan on Monday, you really believe it's going to work this time. Why? I don't know why. Maybe if it's the first time you're ever doing it, I guess I'd understand it. But I see people, it's like, oh, this is the 50th time I'm trying keto. Oh, I'm going to try it. This is the third time, 20th time. Well, do you never reflect on what happened the last times you've done this? And it's the same story. You start out doing it for a couple days usually. Well, let's be honest. It's a couple days. Once in a while, you get to a couple of weeks, and once or twice, you'll get to months into, a little more than that. So. Mickey Lowe, going on holidays in a month. Any advice? Yeah, enjoy yourself on the holidays. Do not diet. Do not diet on a holiday. Do not try and eat perfect on a holiday. Holidays are meant to enjoy yourself and eat more than you normally do. Now, what I would suggest is that you eat less than you have on previous holidays, right? So you practice moderation in the program. We call it minimizing the damage. Enjoy yourself, but at the same time, don't go as far with it as you normally do. But the holidays, again, depending on how long your holidays are, but if we're talking a week or two, that's not going to make a shit of difference on your weight. A week of overeating is going to have as much impact on your weight as a week of dieting. None. It matters what you do consistently, not what you do random weeks. Okay. So go enjoy the hell out of yourself on your holiday and then come back and be focused, motivated, feeling good. You went on holidays, you enjoyed yourself, and now get on back track and now master your weight. You don't master your weight. You don't lose weight on holidays. That's not what holidays are for. You lose weight in your normal routines, your normal situations. So that's my suggestion. Mario said, I think I finally learned the lesson. Never again. Well, I hope so, Mario. But understand this too. And this is so important as well, that you might do it again. Okay. And then there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I don't know why we're like this. Some things we learn quick and some things we learn slow. But as long as you're persistent, it doesn't matter. You take the power away from that and you take control. So again, you do it again, you just reinforce the lesson. But again, at least now you know it. It's funny how you didn't realize that right away, though. That's the key part. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, the awareness is the first step for really mastering your weight. And so notice that, Mark, because you listen to shit all the time and you go and have a big binge thing and you're focused on the binge, but you weren't focused on how it happened. And that struck you a little bit later, but great job. Okay. So now we need to make that quicker and quicker. That's the path. Yeah, once you get that first session on your belt, it's addicting. Yeah, true story, true story. It's so true. Once you get that first session, I tell you that because, you know, like even with all your weight loss, I'll give you another example of what I mean. And I was just referring to this a second ago, is that when I said, hey, when you start your diet, are you relaxed and calm and centered and grounded and feeling peaceful? Or are you stressed out and freaking out and overwhelmed and all the rest of it? And we know the answer. And so that's just a surface level explanation. What's going on deep down inside of you is every time, if you're a dieter, every time you think about your weight, you're eliciting a stress response. This is what the diet industry, which is the food industry, by the way, I got to say it, right? Just because you understand that the diet industry, the people you've been learning how to lose weight from are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company as Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's Pretzels. Slim Fast owned by the same company as Ben & Jerry's ice cream. The diet concept is a bullshit concept created by the food industry to get you to overeat forever. That's simple. And one of the things they've done at a very, very core nervous system level, because this is why they don't teach you hypnosis, because it's too powerful for people to understand. Now, I know I sound crazy saying that. I know that, but hear me out, because really what our behaviors come down to, it's very just Pavlovian. It's that simple. Tough shit. You don't believe it. You want to think you're some highfalutin human that thinks things out. Bullshit. If you did, you wouldn't even be here. You would just eat the right foods and weigh what you want to weigh. But don't you find it odd that as much as you want to lose weight and as much as you think about it, and as much as you know what you should and shouldn't eat, you keep doing the wrong stuff? Well, how's that possible? What's up? You're a smart, logical human, right? So what's going on? Why don't you just do what you know you should? Crazy. You don't even have an answer for that. Hey, Rebecca, thanks. That was a good one. That actually got me. It shocked me. That was funny. So how do you explain it? How do you explain it? And the truth is, you got no fucking explanation. You're flummoxed by it, which is why you're obsessed with the question. Why do I keep fucking up? Why can't I stick to a plan? What's wrong with me? But you're obsessed with that. But I know at a core level, what drives all our behavior is real simple. It's just Pavlovian associations at its most simple level. And this is the irony. Think about this. I think this is the most crazy thing, that as much as you think about weight loss, and as much as you think you want to lose weight and all the rest of it, deep down nervous system wise, when you think about weight loss, you elicit a stress response. A simple way to say this is when you think about weight loss subconsciously, you associate weight loss to pain. Think about that for a second. It's crazy to wrap your head around, but it's so true. When you think about losing weight, you associate it to pain. You associate it to stress, to deprivation, to it's difficult, to it's not going to work, to I feel like a failure, to shame, to guilt, to all this negative stuff. And at the very core of you, what's driving everything you're doing is that you associate pain to losing weight. What a crazy world. And so this is why you're not getting results at a very core level. So, think about it, right? Losing weight, eating healthier, changing your lifestyle, becoming slimmer, feeling better is the most amazing thing you can do in your life. It's the most dramatic, positive change that will give you the best quality of life, make you the happiest, improves every area of your life. But that's not how you think about it. You associate it to pain. And that's the greatest trick that the diet industry has pulled on us all. And so you got to change that, But yeah, the hypnosis session helps you do that, because this will be the first time ever. This is what I was so shocked. When I started doing hypnosis sessions, what I quickly realized is that when I was hypnotizing people and then we were talking about weight stuff, it was the first time in their life that they were thinking about weight loss from a calm, neutral state of being. Because when you think about, test this out. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Pay attention. When you think about weight loss, do you feel calm, centered, motivated, excited, hopeful? Or do you feel stressed in whatever flavor of stress you like to feel? And that's a problem, don't you think? Don't you think that's a problem? Where it says, have you checked out Carmelita yet? No, I haven't. I got to write that down and somewhere I'll see it. I wrote it down here, but this is what I mean, folks. I don't sit here in judgment, because I am like, what the fuck, you brain? I'm always dealing with my brain. So I got no room to judge people, because I got to deal with my dumb shit. But it's like, I've been trying to get these Although I will say I was close. I ran out of these Post-it notes, and I live by these Post-it notes because I don't remember anything when I'm in these lives. So I want to see Carmelita. Carmelita. I'll rate it on a different thing. Maybe that'll help. I got to get those Post-it notes. I was so close to getting them one time. The place I finally remember they didn't have them. Jonathan says, how do I intuitively eat fast food? Because I want to include it into my diet just a little bit. You're not intuitively eating it. Okay. Take that idea and shoot it to the moon. You're never going to intuitively eat fast food. Okay. You're really not going to intuitively eat shit. I think the whole idea of intuitive eating, I would love to have a conversation with some intuitive eating expert. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I would love to have that conversation because I think the idea that you're going to intuitively eat shit is way off. So no way, Jonathan. Now you could intentionally, strategically eat fast food. Strategically, I think you have a chance. Okay. But intuitively, no. Jonathan, your intuitions, don't take this the wrong way. Because again, I say this with love. And I say this thanking you for sharing all the things you're thinking, because it's instructive for a lot of people that aren't willing to say these things. But I'm telling you this, you have really bad intuitions. No offense. I used to have terrible intuitions. Okay. But your intuitions are about as bad as they can be. This is why, again, I'm just give you a little highlight. Jonathan, again, don't be a feminist. But Jonathan was like, I'll overeat healthy stuff. What's the healthy stuff? Chicken. Okay. What kind of chicken? Fried chicken, chicken with lots of sauces. All right. That's not healthy, Jonathan. So it's like, again, the intuitions are deeply wrong in you. And they are for most people, to be honest. This is why the idea that, if you're overweight and been struggling away for a while, the reason that's the case is because we live off of our intuitions. And so if you have intuitions, it's like someone who's a gambler, it says, okay, you just, you know what? Stop gambling by following your intuitions. It's like, what? That's bad. You want to stop being a drug addict? Maybe you should start listening to your intuitions. No, do not listen to your intuitions. They're all fucked up. Okay. So no, intuitive eating. Again, I'm an intuitive eater now because I've trained my intuitions over decades. So now I can trust myself for what I think and what I know and what I feel. And I trust myself now, but new people's, if you've been struggling with your weight and eating, your intuitions are that of an overweight person who eats the wrong stuff, So yeah, not intuitive eating, but strategic eating. And strategic eating, let's use that big old prefrontal cortex of yours and not depend on our intuitions. Let's focus on our big brain and say, okay. And the question goes like this, Jonathan. How can I go, what fast food do I like the most? How can I eat that fast food in a more moderated way? I want to eat it, but I don't want to get out of control with it. When I get out of control, I don't enjoy it anyways. What's the sweet spot? Okay. And that's a process, but that's how you go about it. Not trusting your intuitions, but using your prefrontal cortex and coming up with a strategic plan. Heather says, it took me almost 43 years to realize I had a tweaked up nervous system and now I can address it. Yes, exactly, Heather. Right. And again, it doesn't matter when we learn this. You're just thankful and grateful that you learn it. Right. Because again, Heather's a super smart person, super action oriented. But if you don't know something's wrong, you can't fix it. Right. If you don't know something's broken, you're not going to fix it. And so once you realize, it can be annoying and frustrating, but at least now you're in the game. I was talking to Heather about this the other night, but I got a tweaked up nervous system, and it's so tweaked up that my entire life, really, for 30 years since I realized it, has been orbits around dealing with my tension, my stress, and my anxiety. And so my entire life, that's how important it is to me, because as that goes, everything else in my life tends to go. So, I mean, literally, I've been doing yoga for 30 years. I'm always doing relaxation techniques. I was talking to Heather about this yesterday. You all don't see this, but I am constantly, like, I've probably done it 10 times since I've been on this call here. I'm constantly in the back of my head here. I'm parallel processing. I'm talking to you up here, and back of my mind, I'm doing body scans and checking my shoulders, because my shoulders tend to get tense and I tend to store a lot of tension here and I freeze up there. And that affects my breathing, my posture, and my state. And so you probably haven't noticed, but at least 10 times since I've been talking on this, I kind of go back and I do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm always, and this is what I do. Do I wish I could just be relaxed and calm all the time? Abso-fucking-lutely. But I guess I can't. I don't know. Maybe someday I will. So I'm not giving up on the idea, but I accept the idea that maybe this is who I am. And mine is a path of just letting it go, letting it go, letting it go, letting it go forever. And that's okay, because it's better than being tweaked up forever. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Heather, because it's true. The first step is becoming aware of it and then not getting upset about it. I say this to you, Jonathan, and Mario, the same thing. It's not about getting upset about it. It's celebrating and being grateful. Oh, thank God I saw that. Thank God I realized that now. Really important. Yeah, Lisa says, took me 40 years to finally change my mindset. Most people have BS info. Most people do have bullshit info. It's so true. And it's not that their info is necessarily bad, but it's very superficial. Again, I want you all, if you could do this, this would be really helpful for you. When you're hearing someone tell you something about weight, start to make the distinction. Are they telling me what to do? Or are they showing me how to get myself to do it? Because I'm not saying, like, a lot of people have fine information, but it's not realistic to implement practically. And I think like keto's good for this, right? So technically on paper, maybe never eating a refined carb again, it sounds great. But in the real world, does that take into account when you go to your nephew's birthday party and you're the dipshit who's not eating any pizza or cake and you have to be the weirdo? How long do you do that for? I don't know, So again, you have to make that distinction between the information. It's good information, but I need to modify it to make it practical, because no one's telling you how to get yourself to do it. They're just telling you what to do. And on top of that, a lot of the information is bullshit as well, though. Towel, cut it out. That my dog. Yes, my doc wanted me to do a stomach surgery. Yeah, doctors are going to doctor. I mean, doctors are going to give you, doctors don't know shit about weight loss. Let that be known. They usually know very little about nutrition unless they're personally interested in it. And so when you go to see a doctor and you're overweight, you're going to pretty much hear stomach surgery, surgery or the medicine now. And it's flipped. You're going to hear medicine now. And sometimes you hear people talking about surgery. That's what doctors do, though. Doctor's going to doctor. And I love doctors, but they're good for some things and not good for other things. It's just that's simple. It's not a critique. Heather says, how do I see the Thrive replay? Oh, you don't have access to that, Heather? I'm trying to think. This is some of the most stressful shit in my life is like my programs and getting people access to them. I will look into that, and I will. Did you get you got the email though with the link to it, but you can't access it? Is that what's up? Because I want you to see that. Those lessons are so good. Yeah. How about if you travel a lot, like for work? Yeah. If you travel a lot for work, that's for real. That's a legit challenge. Okay. No doubt about it. However, if you're doing it consistently, what happens is you start to develop strategies for when you travel. So I just give you an example. I might talk about this for hours, but a simple one, like when you travel, maybe that might be a good time to, pack some apples away. Know where the bananas were but when you're going to travel someplace, figure out where some of the healthy stuff is, where we get a salad or a healthier, food is at. Maybe, again, I'm not a huge fan of protein bars or energy bars or whatever. But find the healthiest kind of protein bar or something else just to have as a backup, if you can't get those things. But ultimately it comes down to, if you travel for work, most likely you're traveling in similar places. You're probably not always going to some place brand new. But even if you go to some place brand new, they become redundant. They become patterns. Airports are patterns, where you go, or there's patterns to things. And so you come up with strategic solutions for when you travel a lot. But that is a real challenge. I definitely think it's hard when you're traveling a lot, but you can come up with solutions to it too. I worked with a lot of people that travel a lot. It's just finding solutions that work for you. Cheeto. Lori just said, I watched the thread, but I'm denied access to replay. I know exactly what's going on with that. I will fix that. I will fix that today, Lori and Heather, and anyone else in the PYT. If I sent you that link and you weren't able to access it, I thought I gave you access to it, but I'll fix it. I know what I did wrong, so I will fix that. And Vicky never got the Thrive replay links. I thought you would have at least got the links, so I will fix that too. GH Ito says, the more I think I change my lifestyle, the more I binge. How do I start getting out of this loophole? Mainly eat sugar, sweet stuff. Yeah, well, when we overcorrect, we tend to bounce back. It's kind of the bounce back theory, like a rubber band. The further you kind of pull it back, the further kind of snaps back and rapidly. So you have to strategically change your lifestyle in a strategic way. And I would suggest, so in Program Yourself, then we follow the weight mastery pyramid, and it's in order of importance, right? So the bottom level, the most important is mindset, then lifestyle, then eating. And most people, when they want to lose weight, just try and change their eating without really changing any of the foundational, fundamental things underneath it. And so, Like if we just say, okay, and I'm going to change my lifestyle by eating less sugar, that's not enough of a holistic comprehensive change. Cause sometimes you'll be able to not eat sugar and then sometimes you will eat sugar. You had a shitty day, you're probably gonna eat more sugar, I bet, especially if that's one of your things. So we need to have things outside of the eating that we can rely on. This is why in Program Yourself Thin, we use the redo rehearsal technique. It becomes a cornerstone strategy. Whether you had a good day, bad day, you always have this. Kind of like brushing your teeth. Whether you ate a lot of sugar or ate shit or not, you're still gonna brush your teeth regardless. You just do it. So the redo rehearsal technique becomes like that. It becomes like a steady, consistent ritual in your life that whether you had a good day or a bad day, you still do it. And what a crazy idea, huh, dieters? Imagine still being able to be on track even when you had a bad day. Do you think that might be important when you think about it now, though? So, yeah, the more you think you change your lifestyle, and again, it's how you change your lifestyle. There's changing everything all at once consciously. That's going to be short term. And then there's changing things in a more sustainable way where you put them on autopilot and then they tend to last a lot longer. So depends how you do it. Jonathan says, why do people hate weighing themselves? Like in general, it's always the same reason like mine. I think I'll give you my theory on this. And it's a little different than what most people say. I think the core reason people hate stepping on the scale is not just what the number says. I think the core reason people hate stepping on the scale is because it reveals that you really have no clue how to change your weight. You have no idea how to manage your weight. I always say, ideally the scale is going to feel like the speedometer of your car. You're not scared to look at the speedometer of your car. You're going too fast, you slow down. You go too slow, you speed up. And the reason you're not scared to look at the speedometer is because you know how to speed up or slow down. When you step on the scale, I think it makes that feeling of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, more acute. And the truth is you have no idea what you're doing. Really. I say this all the time. I mean, if you're really honest with yourself, you know just as little about how to manage your weight now after decades of dieting as you did before you started your first diet, which is nothing. You have no fucking clue. You may have some vague ideas of like, oh, I should stop eating carbs. I should eat 1,200 calories. I should track my points. You have the vaguest ass idea of stuff. But the granular details of how to master your weight, you have no idea. I'll just give you an example of what I mean, just to prove the point. I just talked about the weight mastery pyramid, right? So right off the bat, that's 2 more levels than you're ever thinking in usually, right? So we got eating at top, then underneath it, lifestyle, then mindset. But even when we talk about mindset, you say, mindset is important. But I say, okay, what's your mindset? And you're going to sit there and say, I don't know, because no one's taught you about your mindset. And so in the program, we break it down into 6 components. Motivation. Do you know how to motivate yourself? I mean, you don't, and you have no idea how to do it. Your motivation is just random. Sometimes it shows up and sometimes you have no influence over it. Motivation. The next one is your self-image. Do you know about your self-image? It's the mental identity you have of yourself. And if you've been overweight for a while, you identify as an overweight person. So how are you going to live as a thin, healthy person if you identify as a overweight person? So you need to change your self-image, and you never even think of that term, and you have no clue in hell of how to change your self-image, most likely. Then we go into habits. Habits are important, right? You know that already, but how do you change your habits? Come on, you tell me, dieter, you've been doing this for 30 years. How did you change your habits? And I know the answer, and so do you. You try and use your willpower to fight against them. How's that working out for you? Don't you think it would be helpful to understand the neuroscience of habits, have a strategic approach to change your habits so that they change long-term? Don't you think? I do. I think it's important. And then the next one's emotions. How about emotions? Do you know how to deal with your emotions genuinely? Do you know how to deal with the shitty emotions that visit you? And do you know how to feel more of the positive emotions you want to feel in your life? Do you? Have you ever learned how to do that? Because you can. And if you haven't, don't you think that matters? Because in this society, we've been conditioned to use food as our main emotional management strategy. This is the core of your problem, is that when you feel bad, the best way to feel better is to go to the food. So until you fix that, how are you going to master your weight? Okay, now move on to thinking. Do you know how to think like a thin, healthy person? Like the nuts and bolts of how to think like a thin, healthy. Do you know? Would you even know the first place to begin? I already know the answer to that, and so do you. And then finally is maintenance. Do you know how to maintain all this? Because that's the fucking point. Who wants to lose weight just to put it back on? Aren't you tired of that? As a matter of fact, You're so tired of it. You can't get yourself to start a plan now because you've lost weight and put it back on so many times that you can't even get excited to lose weight now because you associate it with failure. So program yourself thin. We start with maintenance because the whole point is to live at your goal weight forever on your autopilot, not just to lose weight. That's a shitty fucking goal. So there you go. There's six categories of mindset. When's the last time you thought about those 6 categories? Do you think it'd be helpful? And then there's lifestyle. I'll give you the lifestyle real quick, but okay. So I get it. But if I tell you, I say, okay, what's a healthy lifestyle? I bet you wouldn't be able to tell me. You'd be, sleep better, move more. I say it's these 8 habits. These are what we work on and program yourself in. In order of importance: proper sleep, proper hydration, relaxation, breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. You start weaving these into your life, you transform as a person into a version of you that's a lot easier to make the right food choices, which brings us to that top level of eating. And how are you trying to change your eating? You got some vague ass philosophy of, I'm not going to eat any more carbs. I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. I'm only going to eat 1,200 calories. It's like, yeah, okay. So in Program Yourself Thin, we have an eating blueprint that's built around you. And we structure our eating. We have clean and pleasure days. Yeah, pleasure days. You need to learn how to have fucking pleasure days. Because you as a dieter think, oh, for me to lose weight, I got to never have a pleasure day again. I can never eat cake again. Oh, for me to master my weight, I'll never eat pizza again. Okay, well, let's see which wins. Let's see which wins, the weight or the food. And I'll give you a spoiler alert. It's the fucking food. If you're overweight, it's the fucking food. I didn't know that. So it's not about never eating the foods you love ever again. It's about learning how to eat them moderately. So you can eat the food you like and weigh what you want. But you got no strategy to do that. You got some one dumb tactic. You go from one dumb tactic to the next dumb tactic. Go from Atkins, the paleo to 1,200 calories a day, 1,200 calories a day to tracking every point to, I'm only going to eat for 8 hours a day. It's not even for 60. Right, 60 hours in, I'm going to join Weight Watchers. From Weight Watchers, I'm going to do carnivore. And it's just like, oh my God, you're fucking goofy. These diets are like, the diets are like get rich quick schemes. They don't work, but you're just addicted to them, but keep being addicted to them, right? What was it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Yeah. Here. Miss Raven says, can you talk about the better way to approach food and hunger? Oh yeah, I'll give you a better way to approach food and hunger. You got to manage your hunger. Dieters out here trying to be as hungry as fucking possible because you as a dieter associate the hungrier I am, the more weight I'm losing. And it's like, nope. The hungrier you are, the more you're going to binge. Is that not true? Mario just said it. The reason he's going big back and eating, going crazy. You know what I mean? I love this. I love, I got to get from, 13 hours of fasting. Okay, I can go more. Let's do 17 hours. All right, I did 17 hours of fasting. I didn't eat it for an extra 4 hours. All right, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. And an hour later, he just ate a giant family-sized box of Oreos and a pint of ice cream. No. You know what I mean? So you burn an extra 100 calories because you didn't eat for 3 hours, and then you put another 2,500 calories in your body. And this encapsulates dieting thinking in a nutshell. And so in Program Yourself Thin, the key part of structuring your eating is to manage your hunger. You can't fight against your hunger. Your hunger is going to kick your ass. Your hunger wins, dude. Your entire body, from biology to neurologically to biochemically, every part of your body is built to get you to eat. You have to eat every single day to live. So everything around here is geared to get you to eat. And now we live in a environment where we're constantly surrounded by hyper palatable foods. So the idea that if your fucking strategy is I'm going to get myself really hungry and then not eat. Oh my God. What the fuck? I don't know. So what do you do instead? Well, you learn which foods satiate you. Again, the fact that you don't know the word satiety is just so instructive, And again, it's not your fault. You've been conditioned to think like a dieter because they don't want you to lose weight. And so you don't even know about satiety. Maybe we'll learn. No, we won't, because even the weight loss medicines now, you've just been trained to be fucking brain dead with weight by the diet industry. And so it's like, what's the weight loss medicine doing? It's reducing your hunger level. Why? Because it increases your GLP-1 hormone. Well, how do you increase your GLP-1 hormone naturally? No one ever asks. You eat more natural whole foods. You clean up your lifestyle. And so it's not about fighting against your hunger. It's about managing your hunger. It's about figuring out what food can I eat for breakfast that comfortably gets me to lunch? What can I eat at lunch that comfortably gets me to dinner? That's the ultimate goal. So that's how I'd approach. That's a better approach to me than trying to fight against it. But what's your take on intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, again, it's just a tactic. It's a fine tactic, and I like it, but it depends how you think about it. Thanks, Rebecca. Again, everything really comes down to what wrapper you put around it. I like a lot of the diets. I joke around about keto and carnivore and all the rest of this shit. I understand the philosophies, and I am behind a lot of it. I think, yeah, refined carbs are a problem. And I'm a vegetarian, but I don't see eating meat as a big problem. I think we overdo it. I think the carnivore thing is silly to the extreme. Again, I ask you, what society is eating just meat? What human society is eating just only meat? That's not like Eskimos in the winter. They're just eating whales and shit. But it's like, it's just weird to me. But they all got something to take from them. But then we put the diet wrap around it, where you're gonna jump into 100% day one and just maintain it. And that's where I start to have an issue with intermittent fasting. I intermittent fast, so I don't eat in the night into the morning, but I did it slowly and comfortably. I did it before there was intermittent fasting. I just did it kind of naturally. And so I like it. It feels amazing, but I think people overwhelm themselves by trying to jump into not eating for 16 hours. And for the people I talk to, it's very overwhelming, and it's a great way to condition yourself to be a binge eater. Thanks, Hannon. I appreciate that. And so, yeah, if you want to be a binge eater, intermittent fasting and jumping right into it might be a great way to do that. And then maybe you thrive on it. And if you thrive on doing it, then ignore everything I said and keep doing it. There's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. But if it's not working for you, cut the shit and do something different too. So intermittent fasting is not a solution in of itself. It's a tactic. All the diets are tactics. They're one thing, because that's what the diet industry marketing revolves around. Two things: the false hope syndrome, that if you do this diet, everything's gonna be amazing. You're gonna lose the weight and everything in your life's gonna be perfect. And the one thing technique, which is every single diet is one thing, because they know you're overwhelmed and stressed. And so they can't say, okay, we got this holistic, comprehensive approach for you to master your weight. Oh, no, thank you. And I get it. That's why Program Yourself Thin is not for most people. It's for you all if you're here listening, because you're obviously overthinkers and you're that type of person. But the average person's not an overthinker. Just so you all know, the average person is just overwhelmed, tired, just trying to get through the day. And so the idea, like, hey, all you got to do is just stop eating carbs. You want to live at your goal weight? You want to lose all the weight? Just stop eating carbs. It's like, could anything sound easier? Thanks. I love that. Could anything sound easier than just stop eating carbs? But the flip side of that is you have to completely eat differently than you did. And then that's hard. And so intermittent fasting, hey, just eat for 8 hours. Just stop eating for 16 hours. You compress your window, you'll be fine. It's magical. Those last 2 hours of fasting, burns all the fat off. Bullshit. It's just a strategy to eat in 8 hours and compress your eating window. That's all. And so again, intermittent fasting without changing your mindset, without shifting your lifestyle, without understanding nutrition better, good luck. So it's not there's no just one little thing you can do to lose weight. If there was, I would tell it to you. I would gladly tell you. I've never seen anything, one little thing just work. And thanks, Mara. I saw the little hot peppers. Schedule eating has removed all the food thoughts for me. Yeah, that might be real important. I will tell you, my structured eating blueprint, that's been one of the funniest things this year I've noticed, is I've really recognized people being like, holy shit, the structured eating blueprint is amazing. Because I'm always focused on kind of the mindset pieces of it. But the structured eating, it's unique. It's like, I don't see anyone talking about it this way. Maybe they do. And I just am confirmation bias, but it's fascinating and it's amazing. And there's so much like psychology and strategy built into that blueprint. And that's one of the big ones right there that Don just said, is that scheduling your eating. You've got to schedule your eating, in my opinion, in this environment. You cannot be intuitively trying to make the right decisions in this environment. I don't think it's ever going to work for you. And scheduled eating is the solution. That's the one thing I always say. There's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you with the weight loss. Scheduling your eating is the only thing I'm like, you have got to do that in this environment. There's no way you're just going to make good food choices naturally. I don't think so. What's up, Don? Amazon. I don't even know what that was referring to. There's so many intuitive eaters on here. I kind of believe them, but I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm an intuitive eater now, but I would never be like, oh yeah, just trust your intuition. Your intuitions are trash. Like again, I'm only if you're thin and healthy, then I say trust your intuitions. Do you understand? You're a product of your intuitions. Yes. Robin says, thank you. I agree. Intuitive eating does not work. It doesn't work. I mean, if you train yourself, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But anyways. Yeah, I got an email, but I know okay, live class, but no replay. Oh, interesting. All right, I'll fix that. I love that you sent the link out. I know, Don. I don't know why that was like such a I don't know. We're all dumb. I say that with love in my heart. We're all dumber than we think we are. You know, we got this high level brain, this human brain we got, which is part of us, but we're primarily this dumb kind of subconscious brain. And it's not dumb. It just seems dumb to us because it doesn't do logical things. But yeah, for me to send a link out is like, it take 2 seconds and it's just something I just keep avoiding it. It's weird, but I'm glad you got it. You didn't post this week's in the Thrive live class yet. Oh, Christ. You're right. I got it ready to go though. I thought I am definitely at a point. I'm in a weird spot because I'm in like half summer mode a little bit. I'll take care of that. Recently found out many protein bars are run by candy bar companies. Yeah, no shit. I always tell people, and I joke because I know a lot of people don't know this, but the protein bars are one of your worst enemies. That, you know, it's like I had a client the other day and she goes, well, I don't understand why I was so hungry because I had an orange and a protein bar for breakfast. And I was like, holy shit, that's what I would eat if I wanted to be really hungry, you know? So yeah, protein bars, for those you need to know, protein bars are candy bars. Okay. And I don't want to get into that. I'm going to skip that right now. But I'm glad you said that. Flixy Flicks. I think I missed the beginning of what you were saying because I see stuff you're writing, but I don't see the first part of it. So I'm apologize for that, but I don't know. I see you saying things like, she will not stop whatever I say. I ask her to. No, nothing helps. I'm not sure what you were referring to. I missed the beginning part. Jonathan says, Colleen Christensen is an intuitive eater. I recommend you react to. Please watch her TikToks. She explains it pretty good, but I want your opinion. Yeah, I'll watch it. And again, I know some of the intuitive stuff and I agree with it on one level. I think as a hypnotist and as a coach of doing this for so long, that there's like the top level information, which can be great. But then I think it's like, how is an average person going to be able to internalize that and make that a reality for them? And I think intuitive eating is one of those things that it sounds so simple and there's a lot of truth to it. You know what I mean? Kind of just like keto, to start cutting down your refined carbs. You've got to do that. Probably most people will have to do that to master their weight, but it's like being told that and being able to do it are two totally different things, you know? So anyways, I'll check her out and see. Yeah, I'll check that out. You didn't get a link for this week's lesson. Oh my God, these links. I love the emails you send every morning. Oh, thank you, Jess. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I love those emails too. I think they're so good. So again, anyone who's not in my world, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails I send you. I give you a bunch of shit. It's all free. All right. What do you think about stress eating? I think stress eating is a symptom of a deeper problem, and the deeper problem is the stress. And so don't just stop stress eating because then you'll just be stressed. And so we need to find better ways to manage your stress. And then that kind of helps you feel more relaxed and simultaneously will probably help you eat better as well. All right. Refined sugar is a trigger for me. Yeah, refined sugar is a trigger for most people. Cocaine's a trigger for people. You know what I mean? They're both concentrated powdered substances that are addictive. So yeah, they're going to be triggers for sure. Mario says, that was exactly what my mind was thinking. Let's fast for as long as I can burn more and more. Yeah, I get that. And then I binged on 3,000 calories. Again, Mario, that's the classic diet or mistake. So you learn from it and you recognize that's the secret. All right. Cindy says, makes sense. 100. Thank you. T-Moine, do you offer private sessions? I offer private sessions. I will let you know. I mean, they're $2,500 for one session. It's 25 grand to work with me, you know, with a package of sessions. And so what I suggest, if you really want to work with me, the deal of a lifetime is to sign up for my group coaching program. I'd shut it down for a little bit there for a couple of reasons, but it's back open again. So if you guys want to get in there, that's a deal of the century. And that's $1,000. You get the full program and you get 8 weeks of live coaching with me twice a week. And we do them over Zoom. I keep the group small, and it's especially small now because, like I said, I cut it down for a little bit. But Yeah, I work one-on-one with you and it's amazing. So that's the best deal on the planet. So I think that's better than even the private sessions, but I know some people want to do private stuff and that's fine too. So if you want to do that, you can go to Jim Katsoulis and sign up for one of those. Or otherwise go to Program Yourself Thin and sign up for the program and get in the group coaching piece. Rebecca says, I have issues with craving extra salty stuff at night, like charcuterie and chips recommendations. Yeah, well, the first thing I would say, Rebecca, is to pay attention to your hunger level. Okay. So, yes, I know you crave salty stuff, but you're probably a salty craver, right? So, the specifics are you crave salty things, but the deeper issue is probably, maybe, and I'm just speaking in generalities here, so it may or may not be accurate, but the bigger issue may be that you're hungry. Maybe you don't eat enough during the day. So, I want to know where your hunger level is at in the evening, and I want to know where you're at emotionally. The main three things for kind of bad habits is hunger, emotions, and just habit, you know? So that's the first thing is I want to know where you're at hunger wise. Because if you're satisfied, then that becomes we take a different path. But if you're hungry, you know what I mean? That becomes a different answer and becomes nourishing yourself more throughout the day. But I would look at it not so much as the craving salty stuff. That's just kind of like how it shows up. That's a presenting problem. But the deeper problem is probably more your hunger. You're using the eating at night as an emotional thing, or it's just become a habit that you've had for a long time. And so knowing which one of those it was would dictate where we went from there. Oh, Don, Amazon Post-its. Yeah, right. Durr! I just had an Amazon order today too. God damn it. Damn it, Don, where were you yesterday? Where were you an hour ago when I just put that order in? Now I could just order it now, I guess, right? That too. I just feel like, is anyone else like this? Like if you're going to order something from Amazon, I can't just order one thing. Am I crazy like that? I feel like just order one thing from Amazon. And so I just had to rack my brain to think of like other things to order. And so now I got nothing else I could order from there. Could I just order Post-it notes and that's it? They'll send me like some giant cardboard box of them in there. Thanks for that though. Deb, speaking of Thrive, I'll email again right now for you to reply for the link to join. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, Deb. Yeah. Send that over. I'm in some weird limbo with that whole program. I don't know what happened there, but I'm figuring it out. And I'm going to have that stuff for you. I'm sorry it's taking this long. Cindy said, told you that you need to stay in fat burning zone or you lose muscle. This true? Oh, told that you need to stay in fat burning zone or you lose muscle. This true? Thought burning more calories made more sense. You know, I got to be honest. It's not my expertise of muscle and fat burning. I'm more of a lower calories down, lower your weight down sort of person. So when it comes to body composition, that's not my expertise. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, the fat burning zone and the muscle burning zone. I'll have to look that stuff up and get a little more detail on that. The longer I eat healthy, the less good junk tastes. Yeah, I agree with that, Cindy. That's what I'm all about is I like reframing my taste buds and reconditioning them so that shitty food tastes worse and healthy food tastes better. And so I tend to crave and eat healthier foods, you know? Gito says, what do you think about probiotics and vitamin supplements? You think they work or just eat whole foods? Yeah, I just eat whole foods. I don't believe in probiotics and vitamin supplements. I love science, but they don't have the answers to everything. And, yeah, I mean, it's not just, oh, they say like, oh, we got this probiotic. Bitch, you don't know probiotics. You know, the microbiome, which is what we're talking about here when it comes to that. The microbiome, they didn't even know. They knew you had a bunch of gut microbes. They knew there was a bunch of microbes in there. But it wasn't until like 10, 15 years ago when they could start genetically testing the microbes that they realized, oh shit, there's all different kinds of microbes here. So don't tell me that they've figured out which probiotic. Bullshit. I don't believe it. And so they're trying to catch up with things. It's mostly marketing bullshit. And I'm going to put my faith in millions of years of evidence. And what we've eaten for millions of years is whole natural foods. And so I want to eat as much whole natural foods as possible because I'm getting the probiotics, I'm getting the vitamins, the micronutrients, and I'm getting all this other stuff that's probably good for my body. And that philosophy has served me so well. So yeah, every single time I'm not a big supplement person. Now I might be wrong on that. I'm very biased against it. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. So I could be missing things there, but my opinion is I want to eat my vitamins and probiotics and prebiotics and all that stuff, you know? Timon says, I'm interested in the group sessions. How do I sign up? Thank you so much. This is terrific. Oh, super. Yeah. Just go to, you can go to Program Yourself. Then you sign up for the program, which is $300. and then you'll get a letter. You get like a page, and if you want to sign up for the group thing, that'll show up now. And if you want to sign up for that, do it. Like I said, it's a great time to do it, because this is a slower part of the year, to be honest. And I shut down the group for a little bit there. So yeah, it's the perfect time, I would say. So go check that out. And if you have any issues signing up, just shoot me a message at through TikTok or jim@programyourselfthin.com. Yeah, Rebecca says satisfied, emotional, or habit. Thank you. Yeah. So it's probably partly a little bit of both, emotionally and habit. And they work together, because it's emotional, like eating that shit at night. Again, it's not the salty thing. I can't stress that enough. Don't get fixated on the saltiness of it. Get focused on the behavior of it. That's the key thing. And the behavior is probably because you're using it as a way to reward yourself. Again, I'm spitballing here, but so whatever words I say, insert your own if they're not accurate. But you might be using the eating at night as a source of reward if you worked hard all day. Emotionally, you might feel lonely, and that becomes a sense of companionship in a weird way. It becomes something you can rely on. You're looking forward to it. It makes you feel a certain way. And so those things kind of get wrapped up. So it's kind of like it's understanding those deeper granular things it's doing for you, and then resolving it through that new information. Okay. But it's not just because you like salt. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the main thing. Heavy says, if you just order, they can probably add it to your order. Oh, really? That's great. I'm going to check that out. Don, you order one thing at a time? All right. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm weird. Supplements are not FDA approved. Literally, they can put tree bark or dirt as a filler, not tell. Thank you, Jody. Yeah, I think that's interesting too. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. I've never seen any good evidence. In Program Yourself Thin, we call it the living vitamin strategy. I love the thoughts of like, oh, I want to put vitamins in my body. I like that part that people are thinking, but I don't like the idea that, you're going to do it through a pill, because it's just probably not going to do the thing you want it to do. Because there's things called food matrices. It's not just what's in the food, it's how it's all works together. And so I remember this as a raw foodist, they would always say, like, raw food has the enzymes in it to help you digest it most effectively. And that was a very simplistic explanation of digestion, but it's one that just always stuck with me. And so, the living vitamin strategy is basically the idea that, you can make decisions about food based on things other than just what it tastes like. Right? Because when you take vitamins, you're not taking it because it tastes good. You're taking it because it's going to nourish your body. Right? So if you take that one level above and make a food decision occasionally, a couple times a week, even maybe, where you make the food decision because of how it's going to nourish your body, I think that's going to be far superior to any supplement you could get. Would you say granola bars are better than protein bars? No, I'd say they're pretty much the same. They're both sneaky, candy bars, designed to be healthy or portrayed to be healthy. I know they're healthier than candy bars. I'm exaggerating here, but you got to watch the sugar. The sugar on those is the big thing. Sugar in granola bars, sugar in protein bars is the big problem. But again, anything processed, processed food companies make money from selling you more food, not from making you feel satisfied. So, you got to remember that. All right. Gisha says, can you tell us about your program, which is done alone? The $300 one, is that still on? Yeah. I always sell that one now. And so, yeah, you can absolutely get that. That program's awesome. I mean, it's really, really good. And I tell you that, because last year when I had redone the whole program, I only offered it as a group coaching program. So you could only do the $1,000 version. And it was going through that for, 6 or 9 months, going through all that, working with a lot of people through the program that I'd done, and refining and opting and tweaking the program. And then I opened it up for people. I tested out like, okay, let's just let people just do this program. And they were getting great results. And so then I offered it for everyone, if you want to do it, because it's just amazing, and the beauty now, I will say as well, is, again, nothing's going to ever equal the coaching, but I also understand there's financial realities for people. So I get that. But, if you get the $300 program, you're kind of doing on your own to some degree. I still have a live class I offer now on a Tuesday. Now it's a class. It's not a coaching session. I'll make that clear about that. But we go through each week. We kind of go through a different aspect of the program. So you can kind of pop into that, and it's live. You know what I mean? It's me talking about it. There's other people there. You can ask questions. And so I'm kind of bringing you through it that way. And then if you get on the lives, I always give precedence to my clients, as well. So again, I always say, the group coaching thing is, I can't, it's literally like one of the most, it's life-changing. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. It really is life-changing. A lot of people here are in the coaching piece of it and continue in the coaching piece because it's again, this is what I do. To have me there, knowing you, getting to know you, working with you every week. But again, I understand the reality. So that the other program itself is phenomenal too. I think both of them are great. So you can go look in the page, everything that's included with it, but it's quite a comprehensive approach. I think it's amazing. Mario says also my dinner is usually at like 9 p.m. Is that late? I don't seem to get hungry earlier. It's funny you say that. And I think when we eat, when we eat, when we're hungry is a funny thing. It's kind of like when we go to sleep. People say, well, I go to bed earlier, but I'm not tired at all. Well, yeah, you're not tired at all because you go to bed late and then you sleep late. Get up early tomorrow and then see if you're tired earlier. And it's the same thing with the food. The easiest way to get yourself to be hungrier earlier is to stop eating later. Do you know what I mean? And so when you eat, really, you can't just be like, oh, I'm a late eater or something. That's something most likely just conditioned into you, and it can be changed if you choose to. 9 p.m. is pretty late, depending on when you go to bed, though. It depends on what your situation is. For me, I would never in a million years eat at 9 p.m. But again, I go to bed now 10:30. So I would never want to go eat at 9 o'clock and then go to bed at 10:30. Okay. But so it just depends on your schedule, Mario. You know what I mean? I couldn't give you a blanket statement. Jody says, don't be humble. It's changed my whole life and thoughts about my future. This is true. And again, I know, Jody, this is very true. So when I get to work with you all, when I get to work with you one-on-one, it's life-changing. That's why people pay me 25 grand. Again, I don't say that to brag. But people don't pay me 25 grand and then pay me another 20. They don't continue to pay me 25 grand because they're not getting phenomenal results. And I know that's an outlier price that most people aren't going to be doing with, but money's relative. And so people that can afford that sort of thing pay that because it's life-changing. There's not too many around that can kind of meet you right where you're at and help you transform. So I appreciate you saying that, Jody. Enough about me. I am a humble person deep down. So enough about me. Mario says, yeah, I sleep around 12, so it's not that bad, but I want to go to not eating after 6. Yeah, that's what I would do, Mario. If I were you, I mean, that's the intermittent fasting I would focus on. Is I would work on moving my eating up earlier. I would start with 7:30 or 8, and then I'd work up to 6 is how I would do it. And I think you may find that it becomes transformative. It was for me, changing when I ate. So, all right, everyone. Yeah. Oh, I sleep around 12. I'm assuming that I go to sleep around 12. But yeah, knowing your whole schedule makes it easier. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're not in my world, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails, use all the things I send you for free. All those things are free. And listen to the podcast. Podcast is Program Yourself Thin, and follow me. Again, I'm trying to remind you of all that. If you're listening to this and enjoying it, make sure you follow me because you never know when you see one of my videos pop up and it might help you. So check that out. Podcast is Program Yourself Thin on all the major platforms. And yeah, if you're really serious about it, come and work with me. Go check out Program Yourself Thin and yeah, go get started with it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a super duper day and we'll talk soon. Bye.